It's time!
All right, guys, welcome back to Everything Octagon. We got predictions for UFC 300. I'm going to be doing every single fight on that card. It's right around the corner, about a week away. I'm so freaking pumped, man. Every fight on this card could be a main event to either a pay-per-view or a fight night event. They really treating us here. I've heard a lot of talk about the card itself, but when you really look into it, each and every fight could be a main event. I mean, they're starting right out with the early prelims of Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. It's the first fight of the night for free on the early prelims. And I mean, dude, we're talking Deiveson Figueiredo, former flyweight champion, versus Cody Garbrandt, former bantamweight champion. I mean, if we were on a different timeline in a different world, this could have been a super fight had Deiveson Figueiredo had his belt when Cody Garbrandt had his belt and they were to fight. You're really looking at a super fight in a different reality. We get treated a lot with fights like that you don't really realize. What comes to mind is Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor. They were both two young 20-year-old fighters fighting on the prelims, and we didn't know who neither one of them really were at the time. And had we known it, we would have realized that we were getting a hell of a fight. Obviously, they were young and they weren't as skilled as they are now. But if they had make that fight nowadays, we'd be shitting our pants about it. But that's what this fight is. It's the first fight on the card: flyweight champ versus bantamweight champ. I mean, really, really interesting fight to see. I cannot wait. All these fights are hard to break down, being that they're so razor close in the matchmaking. I think this has potential to really kick the card off with a bang. Figueiredo moving up from flyweight. He's already had one bantamweight fight against Rob Font, and he did very well. He's a mega big flyweight anyway, so I didn't imagine he would have much problems coming up to bantamweight. Well, he's got his first bantamweight win against Rob Font in a unanimous decision. And then you got Cody Garbrandt. He's still, kicking around the bantamweight division. He tried to go down to flyweight, and he fought Kai Kara-France. He fought Kai Kara-France, and you would think going down, fighting the smaller fighters would be an advantage, but it was actually, he had lost that fight and come back to bantamweight. I think the speed was a little too much for Cody Garbrandt. He's usually the faster fighter with the faster hands, and I think moving down to 125, he was finding that, Kai Kara-France was a lot faster than him and had actually ended up getting the TKO victory over Cody Garbrandt. He's had a lot of tough losses, but I don't think he's lost it. He hasn't lost the ability to knock people out. He's got rocks in his hands. If he hits you with that right hook, especially that right hand, you're probably going out. He's got quite a few one hitter quitter knockouts. So Deiveson Figueiredo really needs to protect that chin, being the somewhat smaller fighter. Cody's going to have height on him, but Figueiredo will have reach on Cody. So it's going to be really cool. I think that Cody's wrestling defense and grappling defense is good enough to make this a stand-up fight. So I think Figueiredo is going to find that he has to go toe-to-toe with Cody, but that might be a good game plan here. Cody gets a little overzealous when he stuns somebody, and he kind of comes in chin up trying to headhunt and finish you off, and Figueiredo's very composed in those situations. So I although I think Cody can knock Figueiredo out, I think he stuns Figueiredo here, and if Figueiredo just stands right there and fires back, I think Cody runs into one of Figgy's little snap strikes. He's got his hands down, and you don't really see him coming, but he loads up pretty good, and he's got his own power. He fought Rob Font, and the power did translate. He almost had Rob Font out of there in the third round with a KO victory. It wound up being a decision on Figueiredo's part, but Rob Font's got incredible boxing, and Figueiredo, in my opinion, bettered Rob Font in the striking as well as the ground. And speaking of Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt has lost a unanimous decision against Rob Font. Rob Font was the better boxer against Cody, who's able to keep Cody at the end of his jab and pretty much piece Cody up that way for 3 rounds. So I know MMA math doesn't usually work out, but when you think of Rob Font as being the common denominator between these two fighters, and Figueiredo beats Rob Font with a unanimous decision, almost nearly gets him out of there, and Cody Garbrandt has lost a unanimous decision to Rob Font. That's one of the only indicators you really have as far as a common denominator for who they have both fought. But I think that Deiveson Figueiredo is just on another level. These 120, he was 125-pound champ. Not really many people could get over on him other than Brandon Moreno. And I think that his power has translated to 135. And when I get into predicting this one, I think Figueiredo gets it done here. I think we're going to see an awesome fight. You're going to see both fighters wobbled and stunned. But I do imagine and picture Cody Garbrandt stunning Figueiredo and getting overzealous, and Figueiredo, firing back and maybe getting a knockout of his own over Cody. So that's kind of just how I see it playing out. Again, fighting's fighting, man. These guys are going to go out there and they're going to scrap, and one of them's probably going to fall. I don't think that we see a decision. I think they're both coming to be in UFC 300. They're the card opener. Bruce Buffer's going to go out there and he's going to start calling their names, and it's going to pump them up. And I think Figueiredo has the speed advantage. And when Cody stuns him, he kind of comes in wide with them hooks face first. And if Figgy can take advantage of that, I think he puts Cody Garbrandt down for TKO. So let's go. Deiveson Figueiredo opens up the UFC 300 main card with a knockout over Cody Garbrandt. Let's go. Like and subscribe. I got 12 more UFC 300 videos to put out this week, so you don't want to miss those. So please subscribe, tell your buddies, and follow my journey, guys. Let's go.